Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this June the 14th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Wednesday out there so far. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also have a great Wednesday afternoon as well. Also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the satellite loop for the lower 48. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. Also, we're going to take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your locations. And also take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a sneak peek into Sunday, as we do have some severe weather to talk about for day 4 and day 5 in the Storm Prediction Center outlook. And also take a look at the climate predictions. I would love to have you like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. As you can see, we're looking at the satellite loop across the lower 48. We got that little spin that was over Michigan yesterday. It's now located over a portion of Pennsylvania. It will continue to move on off to the north and east into southeast Canada around the Quebec area up there. We got that some more scattered showers along a frontal boundary right here. That's what's going to produce all the severe weather today, because we got a stalled frontal boundary extending from Texas all the way into the Atlantic Ocean. Also along that pretty much from Oklahoma to Texas all the way to Florida, even the Carolinas here. Well, mainly South Carolina, that is. Will be in a marginal to slight risk for severe weather. We have a moderate risk over here in portions of Arkansas back into Georgia. You will see that in the day's forecast when we get to the Storm Prediction Center outlook. We got another little Texas. That's what keeps feeding these little systems here. Plus, we got little upper level systems here keep dropping down from the northwest, keep kicking off these systems here in the middle portion of the country, and keep sending them off to the east and southeastern United States here. So just want to give you a heads up on that. Look like for the next 5 to 10 days, it's going to be a very stormy and active pattern through the remainder of June for pretty much the central portion of the United States, the south and southeastern United States, through the end of June. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the for your locations here. Okay, Georgia and southern and central South Carolina there as well. Scattered activity over portion of Florida. Scattered activity over Puerto Rico. Cuba and the Bahamas looks a-okay at this time. Scattered activity down here around the Hawaiian chain islands. Got a few scattered activity over Alaska. Also, we got some, and the Guam radar is still currently unavailable. There's that low pressure system, as you can see, we got located over a portion of Pennsylvania. It will continue to lift on off to the east northeast and move up toward Maine, and then move on up into the Quebec and southeast Canada region. We got some shower and thunderstorm activity over portions of Newfoundland. Also we got scattered activity over southeast Canada back into Maine there as well. Got more scattered showers and storms extending in South Canada. I got some rain and snow showers over here in southwestern Canada. There. Also, we got scattered activity down into Montana, northern Idaho. Also, activity also in portions of southern Nevada and also southern California as well. All right, let's move on to the weather radar across. The watches, warning, and advisories, because we do have some tornado watches and severe thunderstorm watches to get to. As you can see, there's the severe thunderstorm watches down in southwest Georgia. Also over here in central Alabama, severe thunderstorm watches are in effect for central portions of Mississippi. Also got more severe thunderstorm watches in effect for portions northern Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas, northeastern Texas, and one county there in southeastern Oklahoma. We got some special weather statements up here in the portion of the Northeast for some strong thunderstorms and maybe some heavy rainfall in your vicinity. We got heat advisory for portions of South Florida around Miami, also down here in portions of southeast Louisiana, central and eastern Texas, and also back in the southwest there. Got excessive heat warning in effect for portions of southern Texas there as well. Air quality alerts also in effect for portions of northern Oklahoma, also in the portions of Montana, also in the Wisconsin, also up here in southern Canada there as well. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm expecting more of that wildfire smoke to drift back down into the United States. How far south it will go, right now we don't know, but pretty much mainly the northern tier of the United States, maybe from Washington State over towards Montana to Minnesota, maybe to also over here around Wisconsin, also over toward Michigan, maybe portions of the northeastern United States. Some of the smoke and haze may come back as we get later on in the next couple of weeks, because them wildfires are still burning, and as the winds start to come out of the north, they will drift that smoke back to the south and start to push that smoke more to the south and to the southeast across the United States. Right now we currently have winds pushing in from the west, pushing eastward, kind of to the northeast. That's kind of keeping the smoke moving off in a different direction. But as soon as the winds switch up in a northerly direction, the smoke will drift back to the south and affect portions of the northern United States and maybe the northeastern United States. But still a question mark of how far south that air quality smoke in southeastern United States and the south. Time will tell, and we will keep an eye on that as well. All right, we've got some air quality alerts over here, portions of southwestern Arizona. We got some special weather statements for New Mexico there, well, and West Texas for some critical fire weather issue problems there also. We got some frost advisories right here for portions of northern Nevada. It's going to be a little chilly right there in y'all's area. Still got the river flood warning in effect for South Dakota, portions of North Dakota, Idaho, and Nevada. Also over here in eastern portions of Colorado as well. Wind advisories also in effect for portions of Idaho and western Montana. We still got those special weather statements and some flood advisories in effect for flood watches in effect for northern and central Alaska and central and south Hawaii and Chain Island. Got a few gale warnings on the south. North side looks a-okay. Alright, Storm Prediction Center time. As you can see, we got general thunderstorms in the portions of Maine, all the way back, well, might as well say from Maine all the way into portions of Pennsylvania. Got some over here around Wisconsin. Also, we got some general thunderstorms from portions of North Dakota, South Dakota, all the way into Colorado, northern New Mexico, and Arizona, back in the eastern portion of California, much of Nevada, all the way into eastern Montana. We got some general thunderstorms through the refreshing the information. Alright, all the way down in Texas, we have a marginal risk through South Carolina, all the way back into portion of eastern Oklahoma, down into central Texas, back to southern Louisiana, central Florida. We have a big area of slight risk extended from Texas all the way into southern South Carolina, northern Florida, including the Panhandle of Florida. We have an enhanced risk area also from East Texas all the way to southern South Carolina and eastern Georgia. We have a moderate risk over here in portions of eastern Louisiana, southeast Arkansas, all the way into southwest Georgia. And if you're in the moderate risk, this includes Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Albany, Georgia. The enhanced risk include Birmingham, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, Savannah, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia. The slight risk include Dallas, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Arlington, Texas. And the marginal risk include New York, New York, Jacksonville, Florida, Newark, New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey, and Yonkers, New York. Excuse me about that. Alright, take a look at the tornado probability for today. We have a 2% over southern South Carolina, all the way back into Texas and Arkansas, eastern southeastern portion of Oklahoma, all the way into northern Texas. Over 5% in the brown from Louisiana to southeast Georgia. 10% hash/slashed area, that's the highest amount. Over a portion of Alabama, over into southwest Georgia. The significant severe weather for a tornado, a large tornado, EF2 or larger. This includes Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, Albany, Georgia, Dalton, Alabama, and Auburn, Alabama. Also, the 10% include Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, Albany, Georgia, Dalton, Alabama, and Auburn, Alabama. 5% include Birmingham, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, Savannah, Georgia, Macon, Georgia. 2% include Dallas, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, Fort Worth, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, and Arlington, Texas. The wind probability for today, 5% up here in portions of the northeast United States, up here around Maryland and back toward eastern Pennsylvania, through South Carolina, back into central Texas, northern Florida. The 15% in the yellow, we have a 30% in the red, and 45% here in the purple looking area, pink that is. This in slashed area, that's the significant hail damaging wind threat. And that will include Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Albany, Georgia. Also, the 45% include the same areas. 30% include Birmingham, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, Savannah, Georgia, Macon, Georgia. 15% include Dallas, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Plano, Texas. The 5% include New York, Fort Worth, Texas, Arlington, Texas, Newark, New Jersey, and New Jersey City, New Jersey. Hail probability for today, 5% in the northeast, 5% through the Carolina and Texas and the North Florida, 15% in the yellow, 30% in the red. And the slashed area there, that's the significant hail threat. That will include Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Texas, Plano, Texas, Garland, Texas, and Montgomery, Alabama. 30%, Montgomery, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, Columbus, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama. 15% include Dallas, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Arlington, Texas. 5% include New York, Jacksonville, Florida, Newark, New Jersey City, New Jersey, and Yonkers, New York. Okay, let's move on to day number 2. Here we go. It's coming up slowly. Slowly but surely, it's coming up. Alright, we got general thunderstorm from Maine all the way into the Carolinas, all the way back through Arkansas, all the way back into North and South Dakota, all the way back into western Montana, all the way back into California there as well. We have a marginal risk down here in central and southern Georgia to portions of the Florida central area. Also back over to Louisiana, back over into central Texas, all the way back into eastern Colorado, and also into northern Kansas. We have a slight risk down here along the panhandle portion of Texas, also over toward Mississippi and Alabama, also into northern Florida, and also southern Georgia, central Texas, back to southwest Arkansas, all the way back over here to central and western Kansas for a slight risk for severe weather on your Thursday. I would not be surprised to see an enhanced risk maybe in one of these two areas tomorrow, so just want to give everybody a heads up on that. Alright, marginal risk, Jacksonville, Florida, Austin, Texas, Birmingham, Alabama, Orlando, Florida, Montgomery, Alabama. Slight risk, this includes Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, and Arlington, Texas. Let's take a look at that tornado probability. We have a 2% in the green from portion of southern Georgia, northern Florida through the Florida Panhandle, central and eastern Texas, all the way up into portion of Kansas. 5% in Kansas and the central Texas. Also over here, portion along the Panhandle of Florida, also into southern Alabama, southwest Georgia, and southern Georgia. 2% Dallas, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, Fort Worth, Texas, Arlington, Texas, Plano, Texas. 5% include Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tallahassee, Florida, Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas, and Lawton, Oklahoma. wind probability for your Thursday. We have a 5% in the Browns, then from Florida. Yeah, from Florida all the way to portion of Nebraska and Kansas area. 15% is significant severe hail over here in portions of Texas and Oklahoma. Back into Kansas, eastern portion of Colorado. 15% elsewhere. 15% over here in southern Alabama, back into the Florida Panhandle, North Florida, southern Alabama, and also southern Georgia. The significant damaging wind threat will be Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas, Lawton, Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma. 15% include Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Arlington, Texas. 5% include Jacksonville, Florida, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana. Hail probability, same areas, but a little more significant down here in portions of Louisiana. Mississippi all the way into Panhandle of Texas. Florida, that is, excuse me. And then over here into portions of central Texas, northeast Panhandle of Texas, and also back into Kansas and eastern Colorado. Significant severe weather will be Oklahoma for large hail. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Mobile, Alabama, Tallahassee, Florida, Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas. 15%, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, and Arlington, Texas. 5% include Jacksonville, Florida, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Birmingham, Alabama, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All right, let's move on to day number 3. Okay. All right, we got general thunderstorms from Maine to the Carolinas, southern Florida, Florida Keys, back into Louisiana, Oklahoma, back into California, back into portion of Idaho, all the way into portion of Minnesota and Washington State. Marginal risk extends from southern Georgia, northern Florida, through the Panhandle of Florida, through Mississippi, all the way back into Colorado. We have a slight risk of severe weather from eastern Oklahoma all the way into portion of Mississippi and through Arkansas. The marginal risk includes Jacksonville, Florida, or Colorado Springs, Colorado, Wichita, Kansas, Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. Slight risk, Memphis, Tennessee, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Little Rock, Arkansas, Broken Arrow, Arkansas, and Fort Smith, Arkansas. Probability is 5% in brown, 15% in the yellow. The 5%, this is Jacksonville, Florida, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Wichita, Kansas, Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. And 15% include Memphis, Tennessee, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Little Rock, Arkansas, Broken Arrow, Arkansas, and Fort Smith, Arkansas. All right, let's move on to day number 4. As you can see on day 4, we have a 15% up here in portion of Oklahoma and Kansas. This includes Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Eden, Oklahoma, and Stillwater, Oklahoma, and surrounding areas. Day number 5. We have a, click on day number 5. Here we go. It moves eastward over into southern Missouri, through Arkansas, into northern Mississippi, northwest Alabama, western and central Tennessee, southwestern Kentucky. This includes Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas, Huntsville, Alabama, Jackson, Tennessee, North Little Rock, Arkansas, and surrounding areas. I would not be surprised to see this area maybe grow a little bit in size coming up on day 5, or well, later forecast that is, because I figured it'd grow a little further. Day 6 right now, currently nothing, 7, 8, but as it continues to shift eastward, I do expect severe weather to track a little further off to the east with time. And finally, we're about to wrap this video up with the Climate Prediction Center 8 to 14 day temperature anomaly. This is for the probability outlook for, this is from June the 13th through, this is issued on June 13th, valid from June 21st through the 27th, 2023. Alright, we got below normal temperatures from Washington State back into portion of Montana, all the way back into portions of Arizona. Well, much Arizona. well below normal temperature expected over here in southern Nevada and eastern portions, southeastern portions of California. Near normal in the gray areas here, and also above normal temperatures expected from eastern Montana all the way to Maine, all the way through Pennsylvania, all the way down into Florida. Well above normal temperatures expected over Texas and portions of Louisiana, and also up here in Minnesota and Wisconsin as well. We have below normal temperatures expected from Georgia all the way into portions of Maryland and Washington, D.C. area through the Carolinas. Near normal temperatures in the gray from southern Georgia all the way back into portions of Connecticut and Boston areas. We have below normal temperatures western side of Alaska, central near normal, and above normal southeast. Alright, and here is the precipitation. It is above normal precipitation from portions Pennsylvania all the way to Washington, D.C. down into Florida. Near normal precipitation expected from Maine all the way back to Wisconsin, all the way into portions of Oklahoma, down into Louisiana, all the way back into California, western portions of Arizona. Above normal precipitation in the Pacific Northwest and Midwest from Washington State through Northern California, back into Nevada. Not Nevada, Nebraska, and also into northern portions of Kansas, also into Minnesota, and below normal precipitation expected from Louisiana, back into portions of Utah, Colorado, and eastern portions of Arizona. Well below normal precipitation expected over western portions of New Mexico and southern Texas. Above normal precipitation for all areas of Alaska. Alrighty, this has been a long video for me here, folks. I hope everybody enjoys it. Hope everybody has a great day. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and we will catch you back in the next one. And consider subscribing. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Love to have it.